Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a video all about my battle and my story with anxiety and depression. This is not an easy video to talk about or like a discussion topic that I thoroughly enjoy, because every time I talk about it I get anxiety, and anxiety is still to this day something I struggle with and I've been struggling with for many years now. So I'm very educated on the topic, and I think that's why you guys reach out to me a lot to ask for advice on this topic, because I've been through it and I'm still going through it. And I've done videos on it in the past. One of the videos is on private because it's so old. It was when I lived with my parents, and I'm just so young in a lot of those videos. I didn't delete because I still want to be able to look back at them, but they're on private because they're so embarrassing, literally. But I do have a video that I made back in 2015 talking about my struggles with anxiety and depression, so I'll have it linked below if you guys want to check it out. That was a few years ago, and again, I feel like I have a hair in my face. I've grown a lot as a person since then, and my struggles with anxiety and depression are just still something I'm battling with to this day. And I think when I made the video in 2015, I was actively going to therapy once a week, and I was seeing a psychiatrist and getting diagnosed with all sorts of different things, and I was on a bunch of different medications at one point. But now I'm on nothing, and I haven't been on medications for 2 years. No, almost 2 years. I think this summer will be 2 years since I got off medication. So I deal with my anxiety pretty much without medication, but sometimes I do take something at night to sleep, which is an anti-anxiety medication, but I don't take it all the time, because I feel if I skip a day or I don't take it, I don't sleep. So it's one of those things. I don't want to keep taking it and literally depending on it, but that's kind of where I'm at, because when I don't take it, I don't sleep. When I take it, I sleep. So I kind of have to pick and choose my battles as far as that's concerned, because I don't want to keep taking it and depending on it to sleep, Okay. Anxiety for me started back in 2010, 2011. Just give you guys the quick short story. The first panic attack I ever had, and this was when I realized, well, I didn't realize at the time, but looking back, that's when I guess my anxiety started. Long story short, it was a really crazy experience. If you've never had a panic attack, then you're so lucky, because it's the scariest thing. I've had 3 panic attacks. 2 I really remember that were terrible, the first one and the second one. But anyway, the first one was induced by I was with my first love, my first real boyfriend, and he was telling me how he had been sleeping with this girl. I'm gonna give you guys the short story. Sleeping with this girl, and me and him were obviously hooking up, and it just made me feel concerned for my health immediately. And I just had a panic attack. I didn't really know what was happening when it was happening, but looking back, it was 100% panic attack. And I just remember him, it was towards the end of our night together, so he was bringing me home to my parents, and it was just an out-of-body experience. I felt just my legs were jello. I remember feeling just like that. And yeah, I was super uncomfortable, but part of me wanted to go to the hospital because I literally thought I was dying. But then there was something within me that was you're not dying. It was a weird thing. So I ended up just going home and going to bed. I didn't wake my mom up. I thought about all these scenarios of things that I could do, but I just handled it myself. And when I told my mom about it, she was that's definitely a panic attack, and you handled it really well. I'm really proud of you, because you probably realized what was going on, somewhere within your self. You knew you weren't really dying, but it kind of low-key feels you're dying. It's a very confusing thing, but something within me was you're not dying, don't go to the hospital, it's not that serious. So I knew within me that I wasn't having a heart attack. I don't know if it's because it was just going on for so long, that it was like 30 minutes, even though it felt like hours. It was literally 30 minutes. And I was like, I would have died by now if it was like, you know what I mean? So I think that's how I psyched myself out. So that happened, and it was scary. So we thought it was from the birth control I was on. So like I switched birth controls. And then my second panic attack was really scary. It was like New Year's Eve 2012 going into 2013. So my first panic attack was like 2010, 2011, something like that. So the second one was like New Year's Eve 2012 going into 2013. That's what I think. And me and Adam were like at a hotel, and I don't know, I just all of a sudden started panicking, and it was to the point where I blacked out. I started getting tunnel vision. And my brother, growing up, had really bad migraines. Sorry if my voice sounds hoarse. It's been like this since yesterday. I don't know if I'm like getting sick or what, but it's been hoarse since yesterday. So this is really giving me anxiety to talk about, because I just hate talking about anxiety. So I didn't like really want to make this video. But I know you guys like want this kind of video, so it's happening. So yeah, I started getting tunnel vision, and like I said, growing up with my brother, he had like a rare form of like migraines where he would black out. And I remember growing up when he would like have his blackouts, they would tell him to go into a room with the lights off and put his head into a pillow and just be surrounded by like darkness, and that will help with your migraine and blacking out. So it was scary because I didn't really know what was going on. I really again thought I was dying, and I just got tunnel vision. Like tunnel vision, if you've never experienced it, is basically when it's going darker and darker and darker and black. Like it's like a circle. That's how I can explain it. And both my eyes were just basically black, 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 bam, black. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? This is like crazy. Like now I'm having a panic attack that I'm blacking out, and whatever. Some people black out with their panic attacks. So I put my head in a pillow and waited like 10 minutes. And I was like crying, and Adam was like, what is going on? I'm having a panic attack. Like I just need to be left alone. Because when you're going through it, like the worst thing to do is like have people like bothering you and talking to you. It just makes it so much more worse. So it eventually stopped. He was like, do you want to go home? Do you want to still like go out to the club and party? And I'm like, it's New Year's Eve. Like, let's just try to have a good time. That whole night, it didn't matter. I was on edge the whole night. Like, I feel like once you have a panic attack, it's just like, it takes a long time for that feeling of anxiety to go away. And it just clung the whole night. And it ended up being like one of the worst nights of our lives. And the next day, New Year's Day, was one of the worst days of our lives. We ended up getting like food poisoning. It's like, what the heck? It was horrible. Yeah, those are like my panic attack stories and how I knew I had anxiety. But I kind of just like let it go. I never like saw anybody for it. I never went to therapy until like 2014, 2015. Me and Adam were living in, my ex-boyfriend Adam. I should probably clarify because not everybody is like been on my channel for a long time. So if you're new, I have this ex-boyfriend that I talk about from time to time. He was a huge part of my life. Knew him since I was 18. I'm 27. We were together 6 years. Lived together for a long time. Had an apartment together, had a house together. So a lot of my like stories have to include him because he was just a huge part of my life. So anyway, yeah, we were living in the apartment, and I just was depressed but had no idea because I never experienced depression. So like I didn't know I was depressed until like it all kind of just like came to a really big head. One night I was like laying in bed and I just cried, and I was just like, I don't want to live anymore. Like I just feel like I have no purpose in life. It was just like, to him I was like, I have no purpose in life. Like I don't feel like, and at the time like I really felt so sad to like think about moments like that in life. I was just like, I have no purpose in life. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not happy, this, that, and the next. And he was like, you really need to see somebody. Something's not right. And he was right. You know, something definitely isn't right. If you're having feelings of like you're worthless, you have no point in being alive, you don't want to live, it's just like best that you like go see somebody, because that's not a normal thought process. And that's when I knew I needed to get help. So I reached out to somebody who ended up being such a great therapist. I just owe her so much. She helped me so much through so much struggles and was always just a great therapist, and I like highly recommend her. She like helped me make so many good choices, like moving to California. She was like a big supporter of that, and like just she's like a great therapist. So I think if it wasn't for her, I never would have grown. She's just so good at what she does, and you know, not every therapist works for you. You might have to go through a few therapists to get like a good one, but I guess I just got really lucky, and you know, I owe her so much in my growth as a person, because without her it wouldn't have been possible. I think I saw her like 15, 16, at least 2 to 3 years I was going to therapy with her. It had to have been. It's hard to believe because it felt like maybe a year, but I guess probably 2 to 3 years I was seeing her like once a week. It really just helped me grow as a person. And then like as I started the journey of therapy, she was like, you know, you might want to get on some medication. I didn't really want to be on medication at first because my mom had always said medication's so bad, you don't need it, blah, 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 blah. And then eventually it just happened that I got on medication, and I don't regret it. I just regret how many medications I was put on. I was like on like a bunch. I don't even know, like 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that. A lot of different medications. And the psychiatrist just diagnosed me with so many different disorders. I don't know. I feel like those are just labels. I feel like we all have like our demons we struggle with, but I don't think I have like any like, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with everything that she diagnosed me, because when they diagnose you with these like mental illnesses, the thing is like you take a questionnaire and then you answer like the questions and then they diagnose you. It's no like blood test that can diagnose you as like bipolar or anything like that. Like there's no blood test for that. Basically, like they just diagnose you based off of questionnaire, and that's just, I feel like mental illness is one of those things that is just hard to diagnose. So like I don't know if I believe everything, whatever. I think that a lot of it has to do with personality. Like she would tell me I was bipolar and that's why I was so impulsive, but I think impulsiveness just comes from personality as well. You know, it doesn't mean you're just bipolar. So anyway, medications did help me get through therapy, because I, in therapy, came to terms with a lot of different things. A lot of why I am the person I am has a lot to do with my childhood and my past. And we're not going to delve into that. We're not. You know what I mean? That's just like personal. It's not important. But therapy helps you to understand who you are as a person and why you're going through what you're going through. And so without being put on medication throughout therapy, I think I would have been like just more stressed and more anxious. The medication helped me come to terms with all of everything I've been through. Again, I'm not trying to make it sound like I've had like this horrible life, because I haven't. I've had a great life. But I'm just saying, like, you know, coming to terms with things that I've been through. We've all been through things, so like this is my journey and I'm just sharing it with you guys and being completely open and honest. But it's not to say that I've had like a horrible life. It's just we all go through things and we have to come to terms with it. So therapy helped me to like grow and realize like my past is my past. You got to shut the door, and the only way to really heal and shut the door on certain things that you've been through is to like talk about it and to like get through it. And like my therapist would give me like exercises to do to boost my self-esteem, to boost myself, and different things that I had to work on as a person to grow. Sorry if you hear Coco snoring. She's like on the bed, like KO. I quit my medications cold turkey, and like a week later, this is so stupid, I should never have done this. I just didn't want to be on medications anymore, and I thought I could just quit them. That's not how it works, because like it's doing something, I'm not like a doctor, but it's like doing something in your brain, whereas like if you quit it, it can make you go crazy. So I quit cold turkey, and then like a week later I was admitted into the hospital for like a suicide attempt. And I hate talking about it because it's just like, it just makes me like sad, and it makes me have so many emotions. I hate talking about this. Wow. What the fuck? It makes me sad because it makes me like imagine if like that really happened. I guess it was just a really big eye-opening experience for me, and that's what led me to move to LA. After that is what made me move to LA. So yeah, it was like just before my 25th birthday, September, because my birthday's in October, so I was 24. And yeah, I was admitted to the hospital for a suicide attempt, and they kept me in the hospital for I think less than a week. It felt like forever. It was literally the most eye-opening experience of my life. Like, because when you get put on like a hold and you're admitted, like nobody can get you out. Like after a day, I was like trying to call my mom and dad, like get me out, I'm okay. Like I just quit my meds, stupid, whatever. But they wouldn't let me go. It's so hard. Like you have to get like a court order. It's such a process. So you're better off just like waiting it out until like the doctors let you out. And it was such a crazy experience because I would cry and that would be used against me. I'd be like, I just want to be out of here. And they're like, you're not ready. Like you're crying. And it's like every little thing you do gets used against you. It was such a crazy experience. But it was a great experience, as in like it made me realize how unhappy I was and how I needed to do something for myself, because I almost took my life and I almost ended it before my 25th birthday. Now I'm 27 and I think of like being in LA and being where I want to be and accomplishing all my goals. And even though some days are hard, it's like I could have ended it all. Like it could have just been gone if it like actually happened. I don't want to get into details of like why it didn't happen or like what stopped me. Why it didn't happen, it doesn't matter. All I know is that like it didn't happen and I'm so thankful it didn't. But that's what kind of set me off to move to LA. And after that, I quit my medications after being in LA for like February, March, April, May. After 5 months of living in LA, I quit my medications. I tapered off of them. So basically when I was admitted into the hospital for the suicide attempt, they put me back on my meds and I stayed on the meds. And then when I was out here, I felt like I was like ready to get off of them. I felt like I was in a good place. I think moving was really good for me. I have like a lot of different reasons why, and like if you've been following me a long time, then you know my history with my family and just different things that I was going through. So moving to LA was something that beyond had to happen for so many different reasons. So I quit my meds after like 5-6 months of being out here. We tapered off of them. I went to a doctor in Woodland Hills, really good doctor, and he helped me just like slowly taper off my meds. And it was like one of them was an antidepressant and it was really hard to get off. I had really bad withdrawal symptoms and it was horrible. But I'm glad I got off of them, and within time it just, you know, everything kind of leveled out. But yeah, so I haven't been on meds since I quit. Almost 2 years. This summer will be 2 years. And I still have anxiety. I still have issues with that. Depression, no, because I don't let myself get depressed. I know I really just try to keep myself busy. I feel like depression happens when you allow yourself to stop doing the things you love and putting yourself out there. Like there's days where I wake up and like I could allow depression to maybe like take over, but I don't. I know myself and I know I have to keep moving, and I exercise a lot. I eat healthy, I take care of myself so that I won't get into those places where I feel depressed. So depression isn't really something I deal with anymore because I know my triggers. Anxiety, I have anxiety every single day still. Some days are just worse than others. It's just how it is. And I'm always going to have anxiety. It's always going to be there. I think everybody in the world has some form of anxiety, and that's just how it is. I feel like my voice sounds so bad, and I'm so sorry if it's like so offensive and irritating, or that it's so hoarse. See, it's like gone now. I don't know what's going on. I've been drinking water, trying to get rid of it, so I apologize if it's irritating. Keep busy. I have a pretty full schedule between like work and then like writing and then like filming and then like reading, and just I have a pretty booked life. So it keeps me really busy, and I don't have time for anxiety really to take over. But when I do slow down, like when it's time to go to bed, that's when my anxiety is bad, because it's like you're trying to sleep, your mind's open, you're not busy, you know what I mean? You're just laying there. So it's like kind of when my anxiety really hits, and that's why I sometimes take an anti-anxiety before bed, because I like literally sleep solid when I take it, because my insomnia is induced by anxiety. So it's kind of a heavy duty drug, and I don't really like want to take it all the time. I said that earlier in the video when I started this. So I wish I could find something that was like not so heavy duty, but like would help. But like I said, it's not like regular insomnia. It's induced by anxiety. It just keeps me up because I'm always overthinking. I overthink. That's one of my biggest downfalls, is I overthink everything I do. I stress about things. I worry about things in the future too much. I worry about my bills being paid. My rent's not due for another 2.5 weeks, and I'm like already thinking about it. Like, I just always think about things like that. I don't know, I just overthink things. So that's kind of like a struggle, something I try to work on, but I think I'll always struggle with. And basically, like, how I deal with my anxiety is, like I said, I just have a really busy schedule. I do anything but sit. I keep myself busy. If I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack, I'll go walk. I'll watch something on Netflix that's really intriguing. I'll watch YouTube videos. I'll write. I journal. And having a positive attitude, like I talked about in previous videos, law of attraction. Like, you manifest the life that you want by having a certain attitude. So, like, I just try to stay positive, and all of that really helps with my anxiety. Exercising is a big thing. Being around positive people, not putting myself in situations where I could have bad anxiety, surrounding myself with good people and doing good things, you know, and taking care of myself. All of that is why I'm able to deal with my anxiety on a day-to-day basis. Right now, I don't want to be on medications for my anxiety. I just don't. I don't know, I've been there, done that. And I just think that I can somehow, you know, manage it. If it ever got to the point where I felt like I couldn't manage it, you know, I would be on medication. Like, it's not like I, you know, don't know what I'm doing. It's just like I would prefer not to be. But if it comes to the point where I had to, then yeah, I would, obviously. So yeah, that's my little story. It's kind of a long video of like anxiety, depression. I hope you guys like enjoyed this video. It's sometimes like difficult. Actually, it's always difficult to talk about topics like this, but there needs to be more awareness with it because, you know, so many people struggle with it. Like, and it's getting worse. Like, as time progresses, like, more and more people are stressed, anxious. It's just the times that we're living in. It's just hard with like everything going on with bills and money. Like, we all are going through something. And it doesn't matter who you are, if you're rich, if you're famous, if you're poor, if you're like wealthy, if you're like middle class, like, we're all going through something. Like, life is life. And whether it's bills, family, drama, death, can't find love, have somebody but feel alone, you know, like, we're all going through something. So that's just how life is. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, as always, please leave it below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I would love that. And if you guys have any like video suggestions, please leave it down below. I'm always open to hearing your guys' suggestions for videos. I know a lot of you guys want makeup tutorials, so I'm going to be doing more makeup tutorials soon when I get some free time. But I really wanted to get this video out of the way because it's been requested. So until next time, I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.